when y'all went to the Americana and y'all family was walking down, you tried to get through the tracks? All right, we're down here at Monroe Bicentennial Commons, the old stomping ground of the Americana Amusement Park, LeSourdsville Lake, that was next door to Fantasy Farm. I can't remember which one came first. Was it Fantasy Farm or Americana Amusement Park? I don't know. Y'all can put down in the comments and remind me if so. But this place, once you couldn't even get in here, but now they put some money into it and they kind of gave it a new look. I know y'all tired of looking at me. Wow, it's kind of hard to believe that this used to be a place of kid fun, amusement, and cotton candy. Once upon a time, you would have came through the admissions gate right there. I was trying to insert some old photos or videos of the park, but they also have the old picnic area down here as well. Now, mind you, it didn't have, for the folks that didn't grow up in Ohio or southwestern Ohio who never went to the park, this wasn't always grass out here. This was like a big lake. No, the lake. Like they got it burned up right now, but this all used to be a lake right here, kinda in the middle. Or am I not remembering that right? As you can see, I'm here with my wife. She say hello.
Hello.
I don't want to even step up under there, but I'm sure you can still go under there and eat if you wanted to. But also, if you want to come down here, get your walk on, you'll get your steps in over here on this. My goodness, I already don't want to do that.
Well, the picnic area was for families that brought their own food.
Yeah, I forgot.
Americana was for those who couldn't afford Kings Island. So you could bring your picnic baskets, you could bring in your coolers, and your family could come down here and eat. And you could still have fun in the amusement park instead of spending a fortune at Kings Island. It was a step up from Coney Island, but it was a step down from Kings Island. So Americana is where families like mine would go.
Just like hers, like mine, you know what I mean? So, you know, because we grew up in Scranton, you know, we had the worst kind of, no, I'm just kidding, but yeah, she's right. So if you didn't have like the funds, or, you know, people didn't have the funds to go to Kings Island, which was still kind of a top tier park at that time, you came to the Americana Amusement Park, or you went to Fantasy Farm that was next door, or you went to the Cincinnati Zoo, or Coney Island, like she said, at the Sunlight Pool, which was another fun place too. I'll do another video on that one. As soon as I walked in here, it felt like this is probably old lead paint. I started coughing. What's the odds of that? Wow, they still got the old speaker up here. I know you're probably saying, why are you showing us pictures of old lead paint, metal, and because there's memories here, you know what I mean? I'm sure at one time or the other when I was 6 or 7 years old, I was up under this thing and it was brand new, or at least it was kept, so it looked brand new at the time, and music would have been playing out of that big huge speaker. Where was the fence line at? Where you can be right at your your tables with your family, and it was a fence, and then you would look over that fence and there was a whole bunch of carp that would be down in the water begging for any scraps that you would throw down there. And I remember that used to be one of the main things us kids wanted to do when we got here. Everybody wanted to run and feed the fish from the picnic area. But if you didn't get down here at the right time, there were other families that was in the way. So you couldn't get in there and do it. So you always bugged your parents or your uncle. In my case, it was always my uncle that brought us down here. And we always wanted to get here early just so we can get a spot at this area right here so we can throw food over the gate and feed the fish. And the elders at the time didn't matter because bread, hot dog buns, and hamburger buns was all affordable, so they didn't mind if you fed the fish with some of them. Now some of you kids get slapped in the mouth if you waste some bread and throw it over to any kind of animal. Well, right here you can, I don't know if the camera does it any justice. This is where the lake would have been, so that don't make sense. I think they may have bermed it off or something like this and filled it in, because I remember that lake being here next to this little eatery area right here. We didn't walk all the way over here just to feed the fish. I think they did. I think they just kind of did some backfill into this area right here and kind of filled it in. But like I say, I don't know if the camera does it any justice. If I get my wife to hold the camera, used to be a water tower that was somewhere in this vicinity. I can't remember exactly where it might have been. Let me see if I can find if there's a platform or anything. They might have backfilled it. Yeah, the grass is kind of uneven, the ground back here. So it probably was like right there or something like that, or hell, for all I know, it could have been right here. Either way, that's what you would see when you would come out here as a child, you know what I mean? So you knew you were in the right spot whenever you saw that tower. You would see it when you were coming up, walking through the admission gate. Plus also, I don't know if my wife would have said anything while I was standing out there in the middle of where the lake once was. She seems to believe that that lake was at least 8 feet deep. I was always under the impression, or I was told, that that lake wasn't any more than maybe 3.5 foot at the most. It was just enough to keep like bait fish in and I don't know, maybe a few turtles, but wow, as a child, this would have been a spectacular place to be, because right now I'm looking at it and it's huge and it's missing everything, of course, that used to be here as the amusement park. Put down in the comments what was at the end of the park way down here. I recall, I don't know. I think it used to be like a little train or something like that your family could board, or it might have been up there where it came down and back around. I'm not sure, but if you're from this area on the outer parts of Cincinnati or Southern Ohio area, and you remember going to the Americana, what was down here in this park here, or this point? If you look over there, you can see one of the old gates that used to be at the admission, at the ticket office. I wonder why they put it way down there and then put it in between a gate, like no one is to walk up and touch this thing because we don't need you having that much nostalgia. Because this is obviously the end of the park. opposite end of the park. I'm sorry.
I think that's where the water tower was.
No, the water tower wasn't that tall. As a child, you might have thought it was, but it was closer to the gate where we came in. Because I remember always running towards it, towards the picnic area. Because like I said, that was always what you keyed on when you walked into the park. You knew when you saw that big blue tower, you were in the right place. Yeah, looking at it like this when it's empty, it's not. It's a lot larger. Like I said, as a kid, I know we only like 5'5" and you 3, 5'4". Not to mention you would have had all of the little carnival music and you would have heard kids screaming and with joy, not fear, of being on little different carnival rides. Now, if I recall, I think it was the Little Miami that actually fed LeSourdsville Lake. And right now it is up. Here, I'll show you real quick. Bet you could probably catch some huge channel cats in there. Come on, Jen, let's go noodling.
By yourself.
Only thing wrong with inserting pictures from the Americana back then is they're hard to find. There are no photos.
That's because we came to enjoy ourselves and have fun, not to document every moment of our lives. So there aren't any pictures because we were playing instead of on our phones taking pictures of others playing.
Burn. We done had a lot of rain. We done had a lot of rain this past week. And wherever it's coming from, yeah, that water is up. Look how far it is. It's up against the trees over there. Anyway, we're here to reminisce on the Americana Amusement Park. We ain't here to look at the dirty little Miami River or whatever. You know, that is just terrible. Kind of dangerous too. It looked like it's a big, you know what I just said? We ain't here to talk about that. Anyway, over in this section, over in here, you would have had, like, I think we're walking on an area where the train track would have been for that little around the park ride. It would have been for parents and kids. So if they didn't feel like walking around this entire park, they would walk so far up there to the actual little train station, get on it, and they would come around. I don't recall it going all the way around the park, but it went just so far. So if you wanted to get like way back over there, you still had to get off that train and walk. Wasn't that kind of transportation. Plus, we was used to walking back then. We didn't get this chunky till we got older. I'm telling you. Well, the wife insisted that I come back over here and listen to the water and have y'all listen to it. Y'all can't see it, but it's like right up against the bank right here. And if you listen real close, you might be able to hear it. Yeah, that water must be chopping on some rocks or something like that. She said it's hitting resistance, so the water is hitting and going down a little before it flows on down. And as a child, I never looked over here. I didn't even know this river was here, actually. You know what I mean? Like, if you can agree to that as well, put that down in the comments as well. But as a child, do you ever remember coming to Americana Amusement Park and looking over and seeing the water over here? Like, who cared? Like, we had enough water that was right here. You had the gondola that took you over the water and different things like that. And about that gondola, there was no locks on that lift gate. Like, if you were crazy or stupid enough to just lift it up and scoot yourself off of there, you was falling down in that water.
To your death.
I don't know about to your death,
To your death.
but
In the water.
I don't know if it would have been to your death. But like I said, as a child, everything seemed much bigger. So that would have been a long way down to fall. You know what I mean? So. And I think over here, where we're walking up on, would have been where the Screeching Eagle was. Wasn't that their roller coaster?
Yep.
The Screeching, good old Screeching Eagle. It was like a It was like a T-Move version of like the Twin Racer at Kings Island. So it wasn't high at all. It wasn't fast, but it was the only roller coaster here at the time, unless they had some other little ones that I can't recall. But
I almost fell off.
she would almost fall off of it.
I was little, and the teenager on it lifted her hands up when we started going down, and I floated up because, you know, rides back then, they didn't care. So I had to hide underneath and hold on, and she didn't care enough to be like, no. That's where I got my fear for roller coasters.
Anyway.
She's gonna let me fall off and die.
Yeah, she's obviously still traumatized. She's still talking about the Screeching Eagle, and there were no signs, I don't recall, to say don't put your hands up, but she says it was. I don't know how she remembers that, being little like she was at the time.
I was 7.
Oh, well, being 7, maybe you just think you remember that. Anyway, Screeching Eagle would have been, I think, around in this area right here. Then you would have had the carnival rides, what's that one where you get on and you lean against the back, it goes around in a circle, then it goes up in a what was it?
The rainbow.
The rainbow. That's what. Yes.
That's my favorite ride.
That was everybody's favorite ride, because even though the people say when you get on that ride, put the chain in front of you, lock it, and don't move for the remainder of the ride. As soon as that thing started going and it started gaining momentum, everybody took the chain off.
I'd go from section
And you would go from section to section, or you would just hang out in front with your arms like this, and when it goes up at that diagonal pitch, you would just be like on there. And I know everybody was down on the ground looking like, well, we Generation X, so they'd just be like, well, if he fall and hit his head, I guess he'll learn today.
Boy, that little chain. Like that was gonna stop somebody. They did not dare we died. They really didn't.
And over there in the distance over there is where you would have got on the gondola. So at least they left that here so you knew where it was in the park. I wish they would have put little signs with old, like, you know how they do at like different parks. Like, you know, if you've been down to like Tennessee or something like that and you go up in the mountains, they have little plaque areas or something like that. I wish they would have done that here. They probably will. Maybe I'll send them a suggestion that they community council or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, to put stuff right here, like this is where this ride used to be, this is where this used to be, because I know it's more folks than me that just want to come out here and just to reminisce, you know what I mean? So it was a nice day. I thought about riding a motorcycle, but my right rear shock is leaking, and I didn't want to risk putting the old lady on there and we going into a right curve or something like that and us washing out. Then we wouldn't even be here to talk about this. So maybe next time I'll be on the bike once I get that shock fixed. Legends, I sent you the warranty information. Come on now. Okay, so my wife just corrected me. She said the Screeching Eagle would have been over in this part here because the train came down under a little overhead right here. Tracks went on down, and as a child, I would have never been anywhere over here for the simple fact that, like I say, as a child, we would have all been running around here through all of the carnival rides that would have been throughout this area here. As you can see, my wife is still enamored with the way the river is rushing right now. Miss where?
Savannah.
We both miss Savannah. We miss going to Tybee Island and chilling down there at the beach. You know, we ain't even got to get in the water because, you know, it's sharks in there. But yeah, just get in there, you know what I'm saying? The sound of the water, the breakers hitting. Then we back here in Ohio looking at this. We look like people use a bathroom in it.
You know what?
Up here in Ohio where we pick our potatoes.
You know what? It's not that bad.
Eat our barbecue grippos.
Those are the best potato chips on the planet.
You know, after walking around this park, I could use one of those little, remember those little slush puppies or a little Coke? It used to come in those old style cups. You remember with the red and blue lines going swirling up it? I know y'all remember. Don't try and act like y'all young.
I wouldn't mind an icy right now.
I know, because right now it would have been like
Red
an icy like pub right here or something like that where you
Not
get
down
hot dogs or something. What do you mean not down here?
Not down here.
Why wouldn't it have been right here? Was it a ride? It might have been a ride right here. I
This
don't know.
where the roller coaster is.
Oh, that's
The
right.
train
That's right.
went underneath the roller coaster.
Oh, okay. She said the train went underneath the roller coaster. I don't remember that because the line was so short for the Screeching Eagle, you could just get off because they wouldn't let you re-ride. You know what I mean? You could just get off, run all the way around, run back up through the little turnstiles or whatever, and get right back on before it even went off for the second ride. So
On a good
rules.
day.
Yeah, on a good day. Yeah, you know what I mean? If you came down here maybe on a Saturday, something like that, you had to wait. Sunday, if you were fortunate enough to get here on a Sunday, especially during football season,
Early enough.
most dads weren't gonna bring their family out on Sunday. So if you were here on a Sunday, then yeah, you got carte blanche for everything down here that you could ride. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but you can see all these little yellow flowers. Guess what those yellow flowers are from? Deer. It's a few little bees down here that's pollinating, but it's so much deer crap on the ground, we're gonna have to wash the bottom of our shoes before we get back to the car or something, because man, deer out here straight pollinating and helping the bees grow flowers. So here we are at the Sky Ride. This is I'll insert a picture like right here or something like that that'll show you what this was. But right now, for them to keep this place open and redo the park, they can at least come over here and scrape some of this off, this old paint off, and repaint this thing, because man, look at that. That's some lead chips for your butt right there.
Or you can appreciate the nostalgia.
Wow, look at this.
Come over here. Come around.
Right, yeah. Now it would come all the way around here. It would come all the way around. It would come back, whichever side.
Get on here and take you around.
Yeah. Yep. And as soon as you left this point right here, coming out of here, up you would start to go. You would start to climb. Now,
That's why I know the lake is further. It's out that way.
yeah, because you would go over people actually walking and doing things.
Right.
Not to mention there was a swimming pool out there as well. I forgot about mentioning that swimming pool out there.
That's what I'm saying. The lake is that way. Because you went over people and the rides and stuff, and then you go over the lake, and then it would turn around down there, which is why they probably had that place fenced off, and it would come back. And it was nice to do on a day like this. Now, mind you, you lifted up the just fall off and die, but you know.
Like I said, if you lifted up that gate, it was nothing. It was like, it ain't like you would get on it, the park associate or whatever would put it down and clamp a piece in it or something like that. Nah, it just freely swung open. Just freely swung open. Maybe as the park went on in the future, when we got older and we didn't come here, maybe they put something where they could put down on there, but right. Somebody had to have fallen sometime or the other. I don't know if it made the news or not, because as children we didn't watch the news, but yeah, somebody had to have had an accident. You can't tell me they didn't.
I don't think they did. I think we knew better. We knew to not do that, because you would died.
Yeah, but that's cool that they made that little play area for kids and parents to bring their kids up here. It's not really a shout out to the amusement park that used to be here, but at least it's something because you used to couldn't even get in here. It was all fenced off and they didn't want no trespassers or anybody coming in here. So they've taken some things out of here. They used to have old pieces of the old rides and old amusement cars and stuff like that over there where you could probably get the hantavirus if you scraped up against it. And they removed all of that and they built this here. So only reason I'm not walking over there with this camera is because a lot of people got their kids over there and I don't need nobody giving me smoke about, oh, you got my kid on, you recording. Nah, I'm not going through that. So enjoy it from afar. I asked my wife how she felt about standing under here and seeing all of this old machinery. She says it gives her the feelings of times that's gone by, past things that's never coming back. Me, on the other hand, when I see things like this, I think of how old I am. Oh my God. That thing probably still moves if, well, nah, it's not gonna move. It was on a hydraulic engine here, or motor. So I guess unless something was pumping to it that would make it move, but that thing probably still spins if you can get that to work. Of course, all of the electric and everything's been taken out of here. There's no feed, but I'm glad that they left this here. Little piece of my past. Thank y'all for coming out with me and the wife today. We just wanted to do a little quick video because we wanted to share some things that we went through as children and that we enjoyed, because we're hoping that the children of tomorrow will find something that they can enjoy as well, something that'll bring back memories when they go back and look at it. Don't mean that it has to be gone or erased, but it'll be nice for them to have something to go back and look at other than something on their phones, you know what I mean? So if any of you parents out there or grandparents, I know, right, can maybe talk to your children or start taking them somewhere, you know what I mean? Take them somewhere that's, you know, is not going to be there for much longer, you know what I'm saying? Build some kind of memories so they have something to look back on other than just a TV screen or, phone screen or an iPad screen or something like that. Until the next video, guys, like I said, my bike's down right now because of that right rear shock. And as far as the tuning on that stereo for the Cicada audio, I did the first tune on it. It sounded cool. It was kind of hollow and tinny when I got outside, though. It sounded real good on the inside. When I got outside, I figured, well, I'm gonna have to do some retuning. So I'm gonna be doing another retune, and I'm gonna get that up and running. And of course, I can't play copyrighted music over there, so I'll still end up taking the bike out once I get that rear shock fixed, and I'll do a walk away from the bike. So I'll turn on something that I guess YouTube approve or something like that, and I'll park the bike, turn it up. Remember, when you got the boom audio, don't go past the 4 dashes. Go all the way up if you want. Stop when it's 4 empty dashes. Otherwise, you're gonna distort everything. Leave it like that, walk away from it, see how far it sounds good and all that, and I'll come back and we'll get it going like that from now on. And I'll probably end up coming back up here in the future because I want to ride the bike up here actually, because I came up here, I took the scenic route, and it was some cool little roads and little roundabouts that I drove through that I could get to this point. So, like I said, I just looked behind me. I'm glad I did, because otherwise I would have walked right in that puddle. Remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. If I brought you any kind of entertainment or any kind of just something to have on the TV behind you, like I said, while you do your taxes or while you're doing your homework, you know what I'm saying? Because it's family oriented. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a little kid to watch this to watch the channel, but you can be a teenager or something like that. You know what I mean? Or if you in school. I'm rambling. Anyway, I did peace.